Before the cross, before the pain became visible, there was a night of complete and absolute silence, a dark garden, a lonely place, a decision that would forever change the destiny of all humanity. In this video, you will walk into Gethsemane, where Jesus wrestled in silence, wept in deep prayer, and chose obedience even with his heart crushed by anguish. If you have ever faced moments where only God saw your pain, stay until the end. This story may reshape how you face your battles today. Night continued to fall slowly over Jerusalem. The air felt dense and heavy, as if the entire world had stopped to hold its breath. Jesus walked ahead in deep silence, firm and resolute, while his disciples struggled to follow steps carrying far more than fatigue. They carried the unbearable weight of what was about to unfold. The Garden of Gethsemane was not merely a place of prayer. It was sacred ground, the moment where heaven and human suffering would finally meet face to face. There among ancient olive trees, Jesus asked them to stay close. It was not a casual request. It was a silent cry for presence and companionship. Even as the Son of God, he would not face that hour pretending strength or control. He felt deep sorrow, heavy anguish, a tightening pain no miracle had removed. Gethsemane reveals something profound. Even the strongest still needs someone near when the soul begins to bleed quietly from the inside. Jesus stepped away a few more paces. The distance was small, but the weight he carried was infinite. Each step echoed deep within himself. The stillness of the garden clashed with the noise rising inside his heart. He knew what was coming. He knew the pain, the betrayal, the cross waiting ahead. Even so, he kept moving forward, because obedience at times means walking on, even when everything within you is begging you to stop, to fall, to surrender. Then he knelt down, not as a king, but as a man. The cold ground pressed against his knees while heaven felt painfully distant. The prayer did not begin with beautiful words. It began with anguish. The Son spoke to the Father as one carrying an unbearable weight. Gethsemane teaches us something essential. Prayer is not hiding pain, but laying it down honestly, exactly as it is, without disguise, without strength to pretend. "Father, if it is possible..." The words lingered in the air, unfinished, suspended in silence. There was no doubt in his love, but there was fear. Not fear of the unknown, fear of suffering he knew all too well. Jesus did not ask to stop loving. He asked not to suffer. This reveals something deeply human and profound. Feeling fear is not a lack of faith. It is part of the condition of those who love to the very end. Sweat fell heavily from his body, as if the flesh reacted to a pressure the soul could no longer bear. Each breath required effort. Each moment demanded strength. Meanwhile, the disciples slept, not out of cruelty, but out of weakness. And even today, this truth remains. Those who suffer most deeply often fight in silence, while others fail to see the weight and gravity of the invisible battle unfolding right before them. Jesus returned to them and found them asleep. There was no shouting, no accusation, only a question weighted with sorrow. "Could you not watch with me for even 1 hour?" Gethsemane reveals a deep truth. One of the greatest pains is not physical suffering. It is realizing that no one can stay awake. No one can remain present to hold your hand when you need it most. He returned to prayer, not because anything had improved, but because prayer was the only way to continue. Prayer did not change the scene around him. The garden remained dark. The night kept moving forward, yet something within Jesus began to realign, to settle, to strengthen. Sometimes prayer does not change what lies ahead. It changes who you become so you can face what is coming with courage, clarity, and resolve. If this cup cannot pass, now it was no longer a request to escape, it was surrender. The heart that once wrestled began to yield, not in defeat, but in absolute trust. Gethsemane is the place where Jesus teaches us that faith is not avoiding suffering. It is trusting that the Father remains present, near and faithful, even when the path hurts, even when obedience costs everything. While he prayed, heaven remained silent. No voice, no visible sign, no miracle, only silence. And this may be one of faith's hardest moments. When you pray, you weep, you persist, and all you receive is silence. Yet God's silence is not abandonment. In Gethsemane, the silence became the space where obedience matured, where resolve was formed, and where trust learned to stand without answers. Jesus rose different, not because the pain had vanished, but because the decision was made. Fear did not disappear. It was overcome by obedience. His body still trembled, yet his spirit stood firm and steady. Gethsemane did not remove the cross. Gethsemane prepared Jesus to carry it. And that truth reshapes everything we believe about spiritual strength, revealing that true power is not the absence of fear, but faith that stands after surrender. When the footsteps of the soldiers drew near, Jesus did not run, he did not hide. He did not call legions of angels. He stepped forward. The one who had surrendered in prayer now walked with authority and resolve. The garden that began in anguish ended in decision. For the one who fully surrenders to God no longer needs to flee from what is coming. Surrender turns fear into courage and obedience into unshakable strength. Gethsemane confronts us, because each of us has our own dark gardens. Moments when the heart tightens, decisions hurt, and silence feels heavy. Places where no one sees the tears, but God sees everything. Jesus stood there first. He knows that place. And because of that, when you pray in the dark, you are not alone. Someone has walked that path before you. There are decisions that can only be won on your knees. There are battles resolved not by strength, but by surrender. Gethsemane was not an emotional failure. It was the greatest silent act of love in history. There, Jesus chose to continue, knowing the cost ahead. True love does not flee from pain. It remains, it stays, even when obedience hurts. If today you are living your own Gethsemane, remember this: God does not step away when you tremble. He is not disappointed when you cry. He is not angered when you ask to stop. The Father heard the Son on that dark night, and he hears you now. Even when the answer is not immediate relief, even when the weight remains, even when the path stays painful, you are still being heard, still being seen, still being held. Gethsemane teaches us that the most powerful yes is not always shouted. Sometimes it is whispered through tears. It is in silence, far from crowds and applause, that the most eternal decisions are made, and heaven watches closely every choice formed in secret. Nothing you face in prayer is too small for God. No tear goes unnoticed. No whispered surrender is ignored. What is born in the quiet echoes through eternity. The garden was not the end of the story. It was the beginning of redemption. What appeared to be weakness was, in truth, the greatest display of strength. For only those who love deeply are able to surrender completely. And it was there, on that silent night, that the path of salvation was confirmed, with tears, with faith, and with obedience. What was chosen in the dark reshaped eternity itself. Maybe you can't change what lies ahead. Maybe the cup won't pass, but Gethsemane proves that you can go through this with God by your side. Suffering doesn't define the end. Obedience defines the purpose. When you trust, even without understanding, something eternal is being built within you. If this story touched your heart, share it. Someone may be living a silent Gethsemane right now, and this message might be the embrace they are missing. Keep walking, keep praying, because when God acts, even the impossible obeys. What begins in quiet surrender can become strength for another soul. Your sharing may reach someone in the middle of their darkest night, reminding them that God is still near, still listening, still working even in silence.